My name is Olivia, Jake Patterson, and I had been together since middle school, the kind of couple everyone thought would last forever. Jake was the golden boy, charming, kind, effortlessly likable. We had imagined prom night as our perfect ending, but it turned out to be the beginning of everything unraveling. It all started with whispers. In March, someone anonymously posted a few grainy photos on the student chat server, hinting that Jake was secretly seeing Sophie from the basketball team. He denied it fiercely. I chose barely to believe him, but then things kept happening. Someone asked me, "You know Jake didn't go straight home after school the other day, right?" Someone else told him, "Olivia's been getting awfully close with Mark lately. We said we trusted each other." But our eyes told a different story. On prom night, I wore a deep crimson gown. He showed up in a navy suit that fit him perfectly. He was waiting at the door, not smiling. We didn't hold hands. We got in the car without a word. The gym was packed, lit up in dazzling color, but none of it reached us. During the first dance, I asked quietly, "Is there something you're not telling me?" He stared at me. "Would you even believe me if I did?" We missed a step. Both of us stopped dancing. I asked, "Do you trust me?" He shot back, "Do you deserve it?" The words hit like ice water. My eyes burned. There was no proof of anything, and yet we were already tearing each other apart. I turned to walk off the dance floor when the lights flickered slightly. Then the projection screen above us suddenly lit up. One by one, a series of edited photos began flashing across at me, sitting with Mark in the library, Jake talking to Sophie near the lunch tables. Then came a distorted audio clip, a whisper. "You know they betrayed each other, right?" Gasps, murmurs, phones came out. Someone said, "Oh my God, is that Olivia?" My heart was thundering in my chest. Jake grabbed my arm. "This is a setup." I pulled away. "How do I know it isn't real?" Right there in the middle of the dance floor, we started arguing. The lights kept shining down on us like it was some twisted performance that wouldn't end. Then someone from the AV crew finally cut the feed. The MC scrambled onto the mic. "We're so sorry, everyone. Technical issue. Please remain calm." The truth came out 3 days later. The school's IT team traced the video upload to an anonymous account on a student laptop. A younger kid from the music club came forward and told us he'd seen Tom, one of our so-called friends, editing clips in the practice room, splicing video, layering audio. "I thought he was making some artsy short film," he said. "Then I heard your names. I knew something was off." Jake went ballistic and confronted Tom. I heard he just shrugged and said, "I just wanted you to see what reality looks like. Tom had once had a thing for me." I'd known that. I thought he'd moved on. I had no idea the jealousy had sunk so deep and turned so cruel. Jake and I didn't make up right away, but we didn't leave either. We ended up sitting together on the hallway floor outside the gym, sipping juice from paper cups, saying nothing. "Did you really not do it?" I asked. He answered, "I didn't betray you. But I did betray the trust we had." I took his hand. "Me too." That night, we promised we'd never let rumors wedge their way between us again. Never let someone else's voice be louder than our own. Today, I'm Olivia Patterson. He's my husband. There's no happy prom photo of us from that night, just flickering lights and to faces full of doubt. But it was in that fractured moment, standing at the edge of breaking, that we realized we were still holding on. During my final year of high school, I became prom queen in a way I still don't like to think about. My name is Emma, and that year's prom theme was Midnight Wishes. The gym had been transformed into a glittering dream, and everyone showed up in their best. It was down to just me and Lindsay. We were evenly matched. In a way, she was beautiful and outgoing, always glowing at the center of every crowd. I was smart, quick-witted, the kind of person who always knew what to say and when. But no matter what I did, She was always just a little more loved. I hated it. I needed to win. And that need. It stopped feeling like ambition and started to feel like obsession. On the afternoon of the prom, I showed up early to help with the final setup student council duties. Lindsay had already dropped off her shoes backstage, neatly placed in a corner. Silver heels, glittering under the lights. I stood in front of them for a while. They didn't even look like shoes, they looked like her. Flawless, radiant, the kind of person you couldn't help but envy. And then I did something stupid. I smeared glue on the sawless. Not enough to make her fall immediately, just a thin layer of industrial strength clear glue. Once it dried, it would turn slick. I knew the dance floor had a polished carpet overlay. Just a bit of slip, and she wouldn't be able to keep her balance. I didn't really want to hurt her. I just wanted her to stop being so damn perfect. That night, when they called my name, the applause roared through the gym. I hugged Lindsay. She smiled like she didn't care at all. I wore the crown of flowers, stepped into the spotlight. I should have felt proud, but all I felt was off. Then she walked into the center of the dance floor with me. The moment her heel hit the floor, she slipped a little. Just a tiny misstep. But she didn't fall, she just laughed and said softly, "So slippery tonight," and then started dancing. But the way she moved, it was almost deliberate. Like she'd turned the stumble into choreography. People started cheering. She looked even more dazzling than before. The next day, the school's website posted pictures from the prom. In the photo, I stood beneath the lights, my smile tight and unnatural. And behind me, there was Lindsay gazing straight at the camera, calm, confident, like she'd been the one in control all along. No one knew what I'd done, but somehow, it felt like everyone sensed it. I stopped going to social events. I even skipped debate club, the one thing I used to own. Lindsay never confronted me, never said a word about that night. Once, she passed me in the hallway and said, "Sometimes, standing in the spotlight doesn't mean you actually won." I gave a hollow smile. I had no words. I got the title I had dreamed of, but I lost myself along the way. After that night, I started speaking more carefully, moving more cautiously. I began to question whether anything I'd achieved was really mine or just a result of my scheming. And every time I saw Lindsay, still laughing easily in a crowd, I'd think of those silver shoes gliding across the floor, turning a slip into rhythm while I sank deeper into my own guilt. I became prom queen, but that wasn't a victory. It was the beginning of the fall. The year of prom, I made plans to go with a few girlfriends. No one had asked me out specifically, and honestly, I wasn't waiting for anyone to. We met at Anna's house at 6. Her living room looked like a temporary dressing room draped in gowns, makeup scattered across every surface, curling irons heating up beside soda cans. It was chaotic, loud, but wrapped in a kind of rare intimacy. The sunlight that afternoon was golden and bright. No one bothered to draw the curtains, so the whole house was soaked in warm light. I was standing in front of Anna's full-length mirror in her bedroom, trying on a dress. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a blurred figure standing behind me. I thought it was Sophia and said, "Hey, tell me if this looks good." No response. I turned around, no one was there. I looked back at the mirror. The figure was gone. I laughed a little. Guess I'm seeing things. I didn't think much of it. The prom was held in the school gym. The decorations were over the top but cozy. Disco balls spun above us, casting scattered lights across the walls. One song faded into the next. As we waited for sodas at the drink station, a guy tapped my shoulder and asked, "Hey, did you spill something? Your dress is wet." I looked down. There was a damp patch on the hem of my gown. Cold to the touch, colorless, scentless. I looked around for a spilled drink or something leaking nearby, but there was nothing. It felt weird, unsettling, but I let it go. As the night wore on, the strangeness kept building. In the bathroom, I kept hearing water running. But every stall was empty, every faucet turned off. On the dance floor, I felt like something was gently tugging at my dress, just a subtle drag, like a presence close enough to touch, but never seen. I'd glance around and swear there were more people than there should have been. Just before midnight, we all gathered to take selfies. I stood on the far right. Anna pressed the button, and we huddled around her phone to see. Then someone said, "Wait. Who's that next to you?" My heart skipped. In the photo, to my right where no one had been standing, there was a girl. Long hair, half her face hidden behind it, but her eyes stared straight into the camera. I turned to look beside me. Nothing. I looked back at the phone. She was still there, like she had always belonged in the shot. Maybe someone photobombed, Sophia offered, uncertain. We flipped through the next few photos. She was in every single one. In some, she was even closer to me. In one, she seemed to be whispering into my ear. In another, her face tilted up just enough for us to see all of it, pale, expressionless, completely joyless. My scalp tingled. I didn't take another photo that night. I didn't want to say anything else. I just wanted to get home. I barely slept. In my dreams, I was standing in front of a mirror again. But the girl in the reflection wasn't quite me. Her face was drained of color, water dripping constantly from the corners of her mouth, like she had just climbed out of something deep and cold. When I stepped back, she didn't. She stayed where she was, staring at me. I woke up gasping. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. A message from Anna. My dad saw the photo. He said the girl next to you looks like someone he went to school with. I was about to ask what she meant when another message came through. Her name was Evelyn. She drowned in the pond behind the school on prom night, 30 years ago. Disappeared that night. They found her later. We looked her up in an old yearbook. The photo was black and white, but the face was unmistakable. Not similar. Identical. We didn't tell many people. We deleted every photo. No one wanted to talk about it. Even when we did, it was in hushed voices, like saying her name too loud might call her back. Since that night, I've been extra careful around mirrors. I always check the background first just in case. Sometimes, I still see something, just a shadow, slipping past the edge of the frame, so fast it could be nothing. But I know it's not nothing. She means no harm. She's just still looking for a place where she belongs. That night, she only wanted to dance, but her turn never came.